All right, buckle up, because today we're taking a deep dive into a world of old Hollywood.
Glitz, glamour, and a whole lot of secrets.
That's right, we're talking Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
A novel that takes you behind the curtain of fame and into the heart of a legend.
You guys sent in some seriously juicy excerpts, and I cannot wait to break this down with you and with our expert, of course.
Happy to be here.
Now, this isn't just your typical Hollywood romance, is it?
Oh, not even close. It's more like a kaleidoscope of ambition
Love.
and the price of fame.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the choices we make and the ripples they create in our lives.
And how those ripples can last for decades.
Absolutely. And the way it's all told from Evelyn's perspective, wow.
This Hollywood icon choosing one journalist, Monique, to reveal all.
Like we're getting this exclusive invitation into her inner circle.
Front row seats to the making of a legend.
Warts and all, right?
So let's start with Evelyn Hugo herself.
This Cuban-American actress who claws her way to the top in a system designed to hold women back. She's beautiful, she's witty.
And she knows how to use what she's got to get what she wants.
Okay, maybe use is putting it lightly.
Right. She's definitely a master manipulator, but that's what makes her so compelling, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, take her early marriage to Ernie Diaz just to escape her small town.
That's not just ambition, that's hunger.
A burning desire for something more.
And a willingness to do whatever it takes to get it.
Which leads us to Don Adler, powerful studio executive, husband number 2.
A marriage that launches her career but also reveals the dark underbelly of Hollywood.
That excerpt where she leaks a photo could get the role in his film.
Ruthless,
Yeah.
sure, but also brilliant.
It makes you wonder, though, how much of that was survival instinct?
In a system that treated women as, what, disposable? Interchangeable?
Exactly. Like she had to be sharper, tougher, to even stand a chance.
And that's where the novel's exploration of feminism gets really interesting.
It's not just about women breaking barriers, it's about the choices they have to make along the way.
The compromises, the sacrifices.
And the question of whether the ends justify the means.
Which brings us to the Seven Husbands, right?
Each one a window into a different chapter of Evelyn's life.
A reflection of her ambitions, her desires, and maybe even her search for something real amidst all the fake.
We see the whirlwind romance with Mick Riva, the rock star.
Burns bright and fades fast, just like you'd expect.
Then there's Rex North, a marriage of convenience, pure Hollywood strategy.
It's like she's trying on different versions of love.
But never quite finding the right fit.
Except maybe, possibly, with Celia St. James.
Ah, yes. This is where things get really interesting.
This relationship adds a whole new layer to Evelyn's story.
A hidden chapter.
A love that defies convention and challenges the norms of their time.
Reading those excerpts about their stolen moments, the longing,
It just breaks your heart knowing they couldn't openly live their truth.
it makes you think about all the sacrifices people made just to be with the person they loved,
The risks they took.
and the weight of secrecy they carried.
It adds a whole new dimension to Evelyn's understanding of this system, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's not just about climbing the ladder in Hollywood anymore. It's about defying societal expectations.
About fighting for a love that the world wasn't ready for.
And then, amidst all this whirlwind romance and Hollywood drama, we have Monique Grant, the journalist.
The one chosen to tell Evelyn's story.
From the excerpts, she seems a bit starstruck at first.
Maybe even intimidated by this larger-than-life figure.
Understandable, right? I mean, this is Evelyn Hugo we're talking about.
Exactly. But as Monique digs deeper, you start to see a quiet strength emerge.
A hunger for truth,
It's almost as if their roles are shifting.
with Monique becoming more than just a listener,
She's an active participant, piecing together the puzzle of Evelyn's life.
and maybe even discovering something about herself along the way.
Which begs the question, why Monique?
Right. Out of all the writers out there, why choose her?
There's got to be more to it than just her talent.
And then there's that shocking twist the book hints at.
The connection between them that's about to blow everything wide open.
I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface here.
Oh, we're definitely just getting started. Welcome back to our deep dive into the life and loves of the one and only Evelyn Hugo.
We're peeling back the layers of this Hollywood icon
Unpacking her 7 husbands.
and uncovering the secrets that have kept us all on the edge of our seats.
You know, one thing that keeps sticking with me is how Taylor Jenkins Reid structures this whole thing.
Yeah, it's not your typical tell-all, is it?
Not at all. We're getting Evelyn's story, but filtered through Monique, the journalist she chose.
So we're questioning everything right alongside her.
Trying to figure out what's real, what's performance.
And maybe even what's been rewritten to protect the legend, huh?
Exactly. Which makes those 7 husbands even more intriguing, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Each one like a piece of the puzzle.
Trying to make sense of this complicated woman.
Take Ernie Diaz, that first marriage. Just a teenager escaping her past.
Pure survival instinct.
The way out of a life that felt too small.
And then Dawn Adler, Hollywood heavyweight. The marriage that launches her career.
But at what cost?
That's the question, isn't it?
That excerpt where she leaks that photo to get the part in his film.
Oh, brilliant, but definitely cutthroat.
And it raises those questions about ambition and the lengths we go to for success.
Especially as women, right?
Yeah, it makes you think about the limited options they had back then.
And how they had to fight for every inch.
To be seen, to be heard.
To control their own narrative.
Which makes Evelyn's relationship with Celia St. James even more powerful, I think.
This hidden chapter.
A love that had to stay in the shadows.
But burned just as brightly.
Those stolen glances, those whispered confessions in the excerpt.
It just breaks your heart knowing they couldn't be their true selves openly.
And it really highlights the double standards of the time, doesn't it?
The hypocrisy.
This facade of perfect Hollywood, while real lives, real loves were being stifled.
So Evelyn's playing this game, navigating these expectations.
Crafting this image.
But then we get glimpses of her breaking free.
Like when she reveals her Cuban heritage, even though it goes against what Hollywood wants.
That was such a powerful moment in the book.
Like she's reclaiming part of herself.
Pushing back against that pressure to conform.
And it makes you wonder how much of her public persona was a shield, you know?
Protecting herself.
Keeping the world at bay.
So where does Monique fit into all of this?
The journalist chosen to tell Evelyn's story.
The one who gets access to all these secrets.
At first, I thought she was just a passive observer, but then...
Remember that excerpt where she asks Evelyn if she ever truly loved any of her husbands?
Wow, yeah, that was a turning point.
Monique's challenging Evelyn.
Pushing her to confront her own truth.
And I think Monique's going through her own journey here too, right?
Absolutely. She's not just transcribing a life, she's absorbing it.
Rethinking her own ideas about love, ambition, what it means to be successful.
And then, boom, that twist drops.
The connection between Monique and Evelyn.
Changes everything, doesn't it?
It makes you realize there were layers upon layers to this whole story.
That's what I love about this book. You're constantly discovering something new.
And it makes you reevaluate everything that came before, doesn't it?
Totally. I mean, we thought we knew Evelyn Hugo, but this twist...
Opens up a whole new can of worms.
And I think that's where we need to pick up next time.
Because this revelation sets the stage for the final act.
We need to unpack that connection, how it shapes the ending of Evelyn's story.
And what it means for Monique's future.
So join us next time as we unravel those final threads.
And finally get to the heart of Evelyn Hugo's truth.
All right, we're back and ready to dive into the final chapter of Evelyn Hugo's story.
The truth behind that bombshell twist.
The secret that connects Evelyn and Monique in a way no one saw coming.
It's a revelation that really makes you rethink everything that came before, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we thought we knew Evelyn, but this...
It changed the whole game.
So let's break it down. We left off with the bombshell. Monique Grant, the journalist chosen by Evelyn.
Isn't just some random writer.
She's connected to this Hollywood icon in a way that blew my mind.
Turns out Robert Jameson, husband number 7,
The one we thought was just a blip on the radar.
plays a much bigger role than we initially realized.
He's Monique's father.
A secret kept hidden for decades.
Until Evelyn decided it was time to bring it into the light.
It makes you wonder, why Monique? Why choose her specifically to tell this story?
Right. Out of all the writers in the world,
I think it's more than just wanting her story told accurately.
you think there's an emotional component to it.
Oh, absolutely. This is Evelyn's way of acknowledging a part of her life she kept hidden.
A daughter she never publicly claimed.
It's a complicated kind of love, but it's there.
It definitely adds a whole new layer to that last marriage, doesn't it?
It wasn't just about image or convenience.
It was about connecting with a piece of herself she thought was lost.
And for Monique, this revelation is life-altering, to say the least.
Talk about a family secret.
Suddenly, she's grappling with this legacy she never knew existed.
Questioning everything she thought she knew about her family.
And realizing that she's now responsible for telling this incredibly complex story.
With honesty and sensitivity.
To honor both Evelyn and her father.
It's a lot to carry, wouldn't you say?
It's a heavy burden. But it also speaks to Evelyn's trust in Monique,
Yeah, like she knew Monique would handle it with grace.
and that she'd understand the nuances, the complexities of this situation.
So we've talked about ambition, love, betrayal,
The price of fame.
but this twist brings in a whole new theme: legacy
What we leave behind, the stories we pass on.
and the ripple effects of choices made generations ago.
It makes you think about your own family history, doesn't it?
The secrets that shape us.
The connections we might not even be aware of.
Powerful stuff.
It is, and it brings us back to that central question. Who is Evelyn Hugo?
Beyond the glamour, the headlines, the 7 husbands.
What's the truth she's been hiding all these years?
And I think that's the brilliance of this book.
It gives us glimpses of the real Evelyn,
But it also leaves us with questions.
makes us ponder the nature of truth.
And the stories we tell ourselves and the world.
Evelyn Hugo is a puzzle, and maybe there's no one right answer.
But the journey of trying to figure her out, that's where the magic lies.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that life is messy, complicated.
And that even those who seem larger than life have their own struggles, their own secrets.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo,
What are you taking away from this story? What's resonating with you the most?
I think it's the reminder that everyone has a story worth telling.
That even the most glamorous lives have hidden depths.
And that sometimes the truth is more complicated than we ever imagined.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of Evelyn Hugo.
It's been a pleasure diving deep with you all.
And for all of you listening, keep exploring those captivating stories.
The ones that make you think, that make you feel.
Because those are the stories that stay with us long after we close the book.
Until next time.
Happy reading, everyone.